88.9 WERS. You just heard a little track from The Most Happy Fellow, which is one of Gavin Creel's favorite musicals, and he's sitting right across from me here in our studio. I'm also joined by Aduba. Is that right?
Yes.
Thanks for being here today, guys. It's great to see you.
It's great to be here. I love WERS.
Prometheus Bound is over at OBERON right now, being produced by the American Repertory Theater, playing now through April 2nd. Gavin Creel plays Prometheus, and Uzo, you play Io in the show.
Yes.
So tell me a bit about Prometheus Bound.
Prometheus Bound is a Greek tragedy originally written by Aeschylus that Stephen Sater from Spring Awakening fame has adapted into English and into a rock musical. It's a show that concentrates on the mythology of the demigod Prometheus, and he gave fire to mankind against Zeus's will. And the repercussions of that are he gets tied to a rock and is bound there and can't leave and has to be tortured and suffer and go through all this crazy forms of inhumane treatment until one day he'll be freed by Heracles.
Oh,
and
I just gave away the ending.
I did, but we don't. Whatever. Anyway.
Oh, and just for the record, I'm a god.
He's
I'm
a
not
god.
demigod.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
I'm a full god.
He's full god,
Okay,
not
you.
half.
Get knocked down a few
Full out.
notches.
Full out,
show.
no marking. He's full god.
It's a neat. What Uzo was saying. It's kind of a great, simple but very deep statement on tyranny in the world today, and it's a reflection on what what it means to be ruled by a tyrant. And the cool thing about Aeschylus's play is he sort of takes, it's told by the story is told through Prometheus' eyes. And I think
yeah, no,
I'm not a huge
right.
mythology expert or anything, but I studied in school and didn't pay attention. But what I remember is that Zeus is sort of like the king of the gods, and it was like Zeus is this great, the white-bearded, powerful, great god, and Aeschylus sort of flips it and goes, no, Zeus was a tyrant. He looked like a wonderful...
Yeah, he was ragging on Zeus pretty much the whole show.
Yeah,
You're not
Prometheus
fans.
is not happy.
No,
with
and
Zeus.
you're pretty much bound the entire show,
Yeah, pretty
out in the
much.
middle of the audience.
Yeah, that's the cool thing.
The chains.
We do it at the a.r.t. second stage Oberon, which is just about the coolest space because what do we have? We have like a bar.
We have a bar. We have people standing on the floor who are, kind of Diane Paulus has created this kind of amazing world where the humans, the mortals are on the floor and the gods are elevated up on the tables and ladders and kind of this sort of spectacle to be seen. And, it's interactive at the same time because people come down and interact in the audience without even knowing that they're going to be a part of it beyond just applauding.
Yeah.
They're in the show.
Yeah, it's complete theater in the round and theater involvement. And I was at the show last night, and both of you at one point were standing on my table, which was awesome. But no, it definitely breaks down the walls of theater a lot.
Yeah, the theme, I believe the mantra or mission statement or catchphrase of a.r.t. is expanding the boundaries of theater. And for me personally, that's the theater I'm interested in. Not just expanding let's try a tragedy or let's try a comedy or let's try a revival or whatever. I'm excited by a.r.t. and specifically Diane Paulus's idea of when you come into a theater kind of disarming you in a way, I never thought of that. I'm standing, I can go to the bar and get a drink while somebody's doing a soliloquy or whatever, I love that. I'm excited by that.
Right.
Or coming to see the same show and, because there's so many different angles and things happening in different places of the theater. It's a different experience every single time.
And I think that's why people come back so much to Prometheus Bound. And as you mentioned, the book is by the Spring Awakening lyricist Stephen Sater, music by System of a Down's Serge Tonkian, and directed by Diane Paulus. What was it like working with this amazing pool of talent?
Pretty amazing. It's neat to see because Serge has never written a musical before. So what's great about that is he's obviously comes from the pop world. He has 40+ million views on YouTube from his videos with his band and everything. It's just hugely popular. But he sort of comes completely outside of the box. He's like, I don't know theater, so I'm just going to make it up. I'm going to do what I want to do. And he's taking experiments with his own music writing. So that's kind of exciting for us because we're getting somebody from outside the world who's just kind of open to, let's create a piece. you've got Stephen, who's steeped in. I mean, he translates Greek, so he translated from the original.
Oh, it's
Greek.
the original Greek.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, and it puts his own twist in and his lyrics and everything. And then Diane sort of, I think her job is kind of just to meld the two and give it. She's created this event and this environment in which all these minds sort of come together.
And we have some music from the show. What's the first track we're going to hear today?
I believe you're going to hear Total Paranoia first, which is, just to set it up a little, is I'm chained. I've been chained up and tortured, and I'm sort of out at the end of the earth, and I don't know whether it's a vision or what's happening, but I see my friend, my fellow Titan in rebellion, Oceanus, who's the god of the sea, and he appears and he says, "Let me free you from this torment. All you have to do is say, I'm sorry. I will take your pain away, but you have to bow down to Zeus." And this is sort of how that plays out.
Okay, great. So this is Total Paranoia on 88.9 WERS.